All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless me here talking about real music in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you right there, and just like me right here. So I've been sharing some great music over on Patreon. You should check that out if you're not a patron. $2, $1, whatever you want to spend per month. I lost a few folks over on Patreon. Was it something I said? I Probably. Yeah, probably. But I did gain a few more. If you enjoyed the Clapton video, you want to support the channel. Um, what else can I say about it? Oh, I've again been sharing some really great music over there that I'm going to be talking about in the future as soon as the delivery happens here, and the shipping might take a while since the music is coming from way across the pond over in those Scandinavian countries, which for whatever reason, I just keep finding great music over there. Different record labels. I've kind of abandoned just relying on one or two record labels now. I'm finding music in places that I just can't imagine that I'd find it, but now I'm finding it. So that's cool. All right. So this issue of tickets selling and scalping and all of that, I've been critical of this for a long time. So let's do a little screen share here and we'll talk about it. And I think Taylor Swift is to blame for all of this. I'm just wait till you hear what Taylor Swift said, and the Justice Department springs into action because of Taylor Swift. So they're announcing, obviously, a lawsuit against Live Nation. I think this has already happened. This story came out prior. I just haven't gotten around to it, but I think this is an important story. The Justice Department and a group of state attorneys general are expected to announce on whenever, I think they already did that, an antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation. Oh, and that was Thursday after this story came out. So probably a couple weeks ago. Details of the pending lawsuit were not immediately clear. I love that kind of reporting. We don't know. So we're going to waste a sentence telling you we don't know. The Justice Department's antitrust suit follows a more than 2-year investigation that probed whether the company created a monopoly over the concert ticket market through its exclusive contracts with venues. All right. That paragraph is spot on. They've done all of those things. It's pretty clear. Oh, and look, there's Taylor Swift, right? So this gets interesting. The Justice Department declined to comment, blah, blah. Washington Post and Bloomberg first reported. Michael Bloomberg, who owns Bloomberg, was John Mellencamp's favorite presidential candidate. Just wanted to throw that in there. The company has come under increased scrutiny since late 2022, when people were still bringing their QR codes along with, their wallets or their credit cards to buy tickets. Of course, most people just buy tickets online, right? Everybody's buying the tickets online. Ticketmaster, which controls more than 70% of the market for ticketing and live events, crashed during the first 2 days of sales, leaving millions of fans, millions and billions of fans out of luck, and then seeking higher priced tickets on secondary websites. A StubHub secondary ticket for the show, this is for Taylor Swift, sold for $22,000. Holy crap, Batman. I don't know if I would spend $22K to see the Beatles, right? I like the music, but now some people have disposable income and they have bratty kids and they're rich. So they're saying, yeah, you know what? I'll spend $22K for my daughter so she can go see Taylor Swift. We're living in a strange world, people, if you haven't noticed, right? The new normal, it's here to stay. Live Nation acknowledged the issues over the pre-sales and said high demand for the show, technical issues, and bots were behind it. Those evil bots, all right? The company said that every customer with a verified fan code, they did not mention a QR code from Walgreens or anything, was able to purchase an Eras Tour ticket. Swift, this is where the conspiracy people are going to like what I'm going to say here. Swift addressed the incident without naming Live Nation or Ticketmaster and chastised the system. So when Taylor Swift talks, the government listens. It's really difficult for me to trust an outside entity with these relationships and loyalties. And excruciating for me to just watch mistakes happen with no recourse. Wow. That is a pretty bold statement from somebody who I really didn't think had that kind of bold in them. Very well worded, and seemed like she was talking with some sense of actually knowing. Ticketmaster and Live Nation have been accused of mistreating customers and speculative ticket sales. Yeah. When something starts to sell really quickly, then the prices start mysteriously going up. Speculation driving. It's like a stock market thing. Well, these tickets are selling fast, so we've got to increase the value just like everything else in this world. That's why the stock market is like a casino now. I mean, if you know how to play, you can make a fortune. I just never learned how to play. Anyway, mistreating customers, deceptive websites, like advertising for certain bands. Yes, the original Guess Who appearing live. Picture of Randy Bachman. No, it's not them. Just kidding, by the way. I don't think they ever did that. Large hidden fees. Well, yeah, you put your tickets in the cart. You go from $70 a ticket, and then you're at $140 for one ticket. And you're like, what just happened? Yeah, deceptive, you bet. I mean, you could get to the checkout and just say, yeah, I'm going to just check out, hit a couple of buttons, and then you've paid twice what you thought you were going to pay for these tickets. It's why I don't go to concerts. I get, my nerve up a little bit, and I say, yeah, let's do this. Let's go see this band. And then I put the tickets in the cart. I'm like, oh, no. It's better to go to the venue if you can. If you live close enough to the venue where they're performing, go there and you'll save probably 30 or $50 easily, maybe more. In 2019, the company paid fines pertaining to the company violating the agreed upon terms of a Justice Department consent decree during the final merger. This is the merger between Live Nation and Ticketmaster. And there is Taylor Swift again, the Eras Tour. Swift fans have filed a lawsuit against Live Nation over the Eras Tour debacle, contending that the company violated antitrust laws and deceived customers. In January of 2023, Joe Berchtold, Live Nation's president and CFO, testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee and was grilled by members of both sides of the aisle over these issues. I'm glad that Congress has a unifying topic. Here it is. This is a unifying issue. Let's fix the ticket debacle. Let's not worry about that $34 trillion in debt that we've racked up. Berchtold apologized for the fiasco and blamed ticket scalping as the cause behind it. There are problems in the ticketing industry, problems that we believe can and should be addressed through legislation. Yes, pass some laws to prevent this. But you might want to fix the southern border, too. I think you could probably do both. Last June, representatives from Live Nation met with President Joe Biden. That meeting must have been great. Hey, Live Nation. Hey, nice to meet you, Live Nation. Just they met with Biden and later announced upfront all-in pricing that discloses fees when a customer is shopping for a ticket. I haven't really seen that upfront pricing. I haven't seen it. It just, as you go along through that process, it seems to just get more expensive. By the time you get to the checkout, you're like, holy crap, Batman, what happened? So why do I think Taylor Swift has a lot of power? Well, supposedly, according to a couple of publications, she's now bigger than the Beatles. right? I think Rick Beato, in one of his videos, his head just exploded. It's like, what? Yeah, I mean, okay, she's more popular than the Beatles, you might say. Is she better than the Beatles? No. I don't know. We'll see what happens 30 years from now. How many years later at her music? Let's see if it stands the test of time. She's just an entertainer. She's a decent performer. She has a decent voice. Her music to me it's like, I don't know. It's like rice cakes. It's bland. It's not my thing. It's too bad because if the music was kind of interesting along with her persona and her voice, but there are all these conspiracies out there that Taylor Swift is kind of cozy with the Biden administration, and all the Trump people are saying that she's some kind of a psyop. she I don't think she's a psyop. I think she's just an op. There's no psy. It's just op. I mean, Taylor Swift, she says, "Hey, Justice Department, I don't like this." And she puts out a pretty decent statement, right? It's worded well. That's the term. It's not poorly worded. And this is what she said. Again, it's really difficult for me to trust an outside entity with these relationships and loyalties. You know how much that could apply to big pharma? Like if that statement was about big pharma and people understood it the way they understand the Ticketmaster debacle here, the whole country would just change overnight. And if you had Taylor Swift, would Taylor Swift become this evil? Would the media go after Taylor Swift? Would her fans back her up if she made that statement? I don't know. What happens is when you start talking crazy, when you start going into areas that are divisive. See, this isn't divisive. This is, we're paying too much for tickets. Taylor Swift comes to the rescue to point out that there's a monopoly here, and these guys are using unfair business practices. And they are. I agree, 100%. Will it change? It'll change a little. It won't be as crazy as it was before. But people spend a lot of money on entertainment these days because they really want to escape reality. So in any event, when Taylor Swift says, you better go after these guys, the Justice Department obeys because she is worth a lot of money. And apparently she's worth a few votes to them as well. Seriously, it's tragic. It's incomprehensible. But the Trump people might have a point, the way they go about putting their information out there, though. And look, I don't care either way. I think the country is lost, and one person isn't going to fix it. It's going to be a God thing, people. You got to pray to God. Don't pray to a politician. Pray to God. Don't compare politicians to Jesus, please. Don't put them in the same sentence. Don't say this person is being persecuted like Jesus. No, sorry. Not even plausible that people would think that, but they do. I see what they're posting on various platforms, and you got to rely on God because he's the only one who can fix this. Anyway, folks, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget about Patreon, YouTube memberships, and Buy Me a Coffee. A lot of the Clapton people been buying me a ton of coffee. I can barely keep up with the amount of coffee I now have. I'm grateful and thankful to those folks who are very loyal to Eric, and they did appreciate the interview, and apparently people are still watching it for the first time. So yes, if you want to go back and watch it again and again, that's cool, because that's going to be my big thing apparently for 2024. I don't think I can top that. My content daily is fairly lame. I just try to keep the doors open, keep the lights on. So I need support here. If you can do that, I would really appreciate that. God bless everyone. Pray for peace in the Middle East and around the world and in your own heart. And I will talk to you soon.